So this is an open letter to Boogie 2988. Obviously, I expect no response, but whatever. I don't mean that to sound fucked up or weird. I just don't expect a response. Where to begin? Well, I guess we begin at the beginning, really. The first time I'd ever heard of you was last year during the whole VidCon thing with Anita Sarkeesian. At the time, I made a video about that, and I watched quite a few of your videos at the time to get kind of a measure of you as a person. I haven't really watched a whole lot of videos since. I'm busy, and if I watched everybody that I liked, I would have no time to do anything else. But I still keep tabs, kind of on everybody, to see what they're doing. Heard about the gastric bypass. Looking good, man. Glad that's going well. Heard about the divorce. In these situations, I oftentimes congratulate, because it's the way I am, whatever. Shit happens, and I'm sure you're extraordinarily sad and disappointed about it. And that's fair enough. That's why you probably should be. I take a different view on marriage, so, you know, you'll have that. But I saw that you kind of are in trouble again. And I saw the video, the podcast with Ethan, and I saw what you said. And to be totally honest with you, I agree in many ways with what you were saying. I think the way that you said it, I don't want to say it was wrong, because I don't think it was wrong. I want to say that it wasn't a complete thought. I think you were saying that essentially, from what I got from it, you were essentially saying that people should wait until their particular whatever is more of a normalized thing. Like, people view it more as a normalized, this is a part of the world, these are people, and we should treat them as people type of thing, then, you know, these aren't people like us, and we don't care what they think, because they're not people like us, therefore not really people. I think that's kind of more what you were getting at, that the push for equality and rights would be far easier if people were far more accepting of gay people in this instance, than if people are kind of inherently antagonistic. I think the point you were getting at is that the transition between, oh, they're people just like me, from they're not like me at all, so therefore I can't even really see them as people or equals. It's a much easier transition to say, oh, they should all have the same rights as us, than if you still have people that are holding out and saying, oh, no, they're not like us at all. You're going to get a lot more backlash if you're trying to push for it really, really hard to happen really right now. And I agree with you in that respect. I think it's easier to do things when a lot more people are on board than more people are against it than for it. I agree with you in that. And I think that was the point you were trying to make. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I think that was the point you were trying to make. It's easier to make grand changes when everybody's accepting than it is when everybody's not. So that really didn't bother me. What bothered me was the apology. You got shit for it, and as rightly you will, because we live in a very divisive time. It's sad that we do, but we do. And in your apology video, you said that you were upset that you had hurt people's feelings, and that you wanted to try and find a way to express your... this isn't exactly the way you put it. Again, this is me kind of coming up with my own interpretation. But you essentially wanted to find a way to voice your opinions in a way that isn't going to upset people. And I think you're going to have an immense amount of trouble doing that. Because anytime you get 10 people in a room together, one of them's not going to agree with something that you say. You know what I mean? When you blow that up to a couple of million, you're going to have a whole lot more than a couple of people who don't agree with what you say. It's almost impossible to come up with a point of view, a perspective, or an opinion that everybody is going to universally go, I get it. So I think you're setting yourself up for failure in that. And another thing that bugged me was you just kind of said, I'm just going to kind of avoid politics altogether. Now, that's certainly your right. I'm not saying that you should stay in the arena if you don't want to. But what I am going to say is, if you feel that there's a topic or opinion that you have that you wish to convey to your audience, I don't think you should allow the possibility that somebody's not going to like it to keep you from voicing that opinion or thought process. I think you have a very deeply rooted pathology of wanting to please people. And that's not entirely a bad thing, but when it gets to the point where you're sacrificing yourself to try and make everybody happy, that's where it becomes a problem. Because there's nothing you can do that's going to make everybody happy, especially nowadays. Especially on anything political or divisive or important. You're never going to get to consensus with everybody. It just isn't going to happen. Anytime you say anything that's an opinion or some such the other, you're going to piss somebody off. So, I think it would be extremely unfortunate if you allowed the possibility of people not liking what you have to say to keep you from saying what you want to say. Now, you do what you want to do, man. And I can totally understand the desire to not want to deal with people being upset with you online. I totally get that. But I don't know. Maybe I really don't have advice. I just think that you kind of create for yourself a loop wherein you want to speak your mind. So you do. People get upset, as they will. you kind of backtrack and try to appease everybody, and then that upsets people because now you're backtracking just to try and placate, and then you say something else that is your opinion, people get upset, you try and backtrack and placate, and the cycle goes on and on. I think you have a very deep pathology of wanting to please people. I saw the story time about your mother. It was extremely heartbreaking. And I think that's, if not the entirety of it, a huge portion of why you kind of have that pathology. When you have an abusive parent, one of the best survival mechanisms a child can cultivate is appeasement. You know, if you know that you do this and mom's going to be upset and you know that means a beating, you make sure you don't do that so you don't catch the beating. And I think that has really wormed itself into you, and it's pretty much become a part of your person. I don't think that there's going to be any curing that. Not that that's even really a great term for it. But I think that's always going to kind of be there with you because it is a defense mechanism for you. It's a survival mechanism for you. And every time you get into trouble with people online, you pretty much think that's the end of everything. But I'm here to tell you, it isn't. You're always going to have people that support you in one way or another. Because I think you're a very personable guy. I think you relate with a lot of people. I think a lot of people have kind of the same pathology that you do. And a lot of people identify with you in a lot of ways. You know, nobody likes to be in trouble. Nobody likes to get yelled at. But being in trouble and getting yelled at is unfortunately just a part of life. And I don't know, man. I guess really the whole point of this video is just to say, don't let people who don't like you now control you. You know what I mean? Because most likely the greater portion of the people who are angry with you right now never really liked you in the first place, or have no clue even who you are. They're just upset because it's a topic that upsets them. And nothing upsets people more than being disagreed with. But I think you have a lot of good, logical, intelligent perspectives. And I just think it would be extremely unfortunate to lose that. Because what we need right now, more than anything, is level-headed, well-thought points of view. And in response to them, we need level-headed, well-thought points of view. Because the crazy over-the-top points of view, like you said, it's getting people killed. And that was another thing a lot of people are saying, that you blamed Anita for Charlottesville and whatnot. I didn't catch that at all from what you said. From what it sounded like to me, you were saying that her tactics of being up in your face and pushing people around, that is what's leading to things like Charlottesville. And it is. I think if you're saying, anybody who's saying that the vitriol in our current discourse isn't leading to these kinds of violent outbursts, I think they're fooling themselves. So, I don't know, man. You do what makes you happy, ultimately. But if what makes you happy is expressing your opinions to your audience, I would say that it is probably not going to make you happy to not do that for fear of being in trouble. No, you can't live your life in fear, man. You just can't do it. And I think that at the end of the day you understand that. But again, I think you have that pathology in you where as soon as you're in trouble, sorry, I didn't mean it, I'm sorry, don't hit me. But, you know, that's obviously something for a therapist to deal with. And I'm sure you go to therapy, or at least you have at some point or another. But, yeah, I don't know. I just... The whole situation's sad, but... I just don't think you should limit yourself or your content or the things that you want to do in life on the off chance you might get in trouble. Because pretty much no matter what you do or say, somebody isn't going to like it. And that, I think you need to try and figure out a way of accepting that in people. Because until you really truly accept the fact that there's always going to be somebody who's not going to agree with you, you know, there's really no point in interacting with other people, because you can't make everybody happy. And to try and do that is to try and live a lie, and to try and be less the person that you are and more the person that everybody wants you to be. And nobody's ever going to be the person that everybody wants them to be, because everybody wants people to be this unobtainable perfection. It just can't happen. We're flawed beings, us humans. We always have been and we always will be. But I just don't want to see you limit yourself. And I think it would be cool to see you stand up for yourself every once in a while and say, well, this is what I said and this is my opinion. And if you'd like me to expound on that, I will. But if you don't like what I have to say, that's on you. Because it isn't your fault that people don't like what you have to say. It's their fault. Not to say that they're wrong for disagreeing with you, but they're wrong for deciding to go as far as they usually go with it when they disagree with people. So, yeah, I don't know. That's it. Just wanted to say that.